So let's start understanding about object-oriented programming. Till now we were discussing the procedural programming concepts. From now we understand the concepts of object-oriented programming. So what happens in object-oriented programming? We create a separate class which has some data and some method defined which we can reuse by creating a object of that class and use them in our code. It has mainly four parts. First is encapsulation, inheritance, then it's polymorphism, then we have abstraction. Yeah. So let's just start coding and start understanding it. So we will be taking a example of employee in this. What is employee, and just create a class for employee which we'll be reusing further and further and understand the concepts, four concepts besides which I just talked about, mainly gave you the name, right? So first is encapsulation, right? So let's just start on encapsulation first. So mainly encapsulation is a mechanism where we wrap the data and method in a class which can be used further by creating a object of that class, right? So it's mainly the declarations type of concept which you can, if you want to have it understand easily, it's like the declaration and of a class which we'll be using further. So let's just start creating a public class employee. In this, what we have a private string name. So this private string name defines that this name will be inside employee only and it will be used inside employee only using the object which is created by employee, right? So private age, then we have private double salary. Let's have salary. Double. Now moving forward, let's just start creating the getters and setters, which mainly creates the encapsulation. So in encapsulation, what is happening? Like this variables functionality would be hidden from this, right? So for that, we'll have to define some getter and setter methods. Getter and setter. So for that, what I do, I just do public. I do string. Then I do mic is comfortable when I write. Work on that. Right. So this is a method which I call to get the name. Right. I just can't directly get it. I'm getting it using a function. Same I do for setting the name. So how I will be setting the name? So I use this dot name is equals to. Now I haven't added any parameter in this method. So let's just add a parameter here first. So I do string and I set the name of this function here. So this is what we are encapsulating. We have defined some private name, private classes which are inside this employee, which can only be used inside this from these getter and setter. Okay, understandable. This is the basic idea of encapsulation. I'm encapsulating everything inside a class. Okay. Moving forward, let's just create a public int. I would be returning age as well, right? So there I do return age. Now you also would be wondering why I have used this dot name here, right? So this dot name defines that because we'll be having many employees, many objects created from same class. So we should be defining that of this one. Maybe the like I have created employee one, employee two. I have named for employee one, employee two. So it's confirming that this name which I am getting for employee one, I have to set it for employee one. So this is what this is. Okay, don't get confused. It's very basic thing. Just code it, run it, and definitely you'll understand. That's the best practice mainly, which everyone should do to learn anything. Because if you are not practicing it now by typing, yeah, you won't understand good. You would understand something, but it won't retain in your mind for long. That's for sure. I'm pretty much sure of it. Because I also used to do that back in my days, but slowly I learned it that it is really important to type what you are thinking or whatever you are learning. I think I didn't needed to create all these, give you understanding, but now I have done so. Let's just create the setter as well for that, and let's just start testing it. Right? So public void, I will be returning anything. I do this, I do salary. Like this, I do this dot salary equals to, definitely I need to take something here. I do double salary. Yeah, I do just simple salary. So this is a method, this is a method, these are the parameters, right? I have used return here, I'm returning a double, so I have to add the double here that I'm returning. I have to tell that. Now the basic part comes. How are we gonna initialize a new object from this class? What do you think? I would definitely be doing it inside the name, right? Main. Inside the main, not name. So what I do, I just do employ and I do emp1, employ one. This is the name, this is the class name, which I am using right now. Then I do new, then I leave space, I do new employee. Voila, it is done. I have created employee, but there is a glitch. I haven't added anything. This till now. So if I want to add employee dot emp1 dot name, so I have to use set name. Like you see, it's telling me that you have this function. I just set my name, Gyani Hulk. Right, I am having an error here. Of type object is must qualify the allocation of an encoding instance of type J object, where X is instance of J object. I'm not pretty much sure this error. This is because one thing. You know what? Let me tell you. I haven't declared this class as static, and voila, it's done. Now, I need to set emp1 what set age, and here I do. I am like 26. Yeah, and let's just do emp1 salary, and it is a double, right? So let's just click on it. Right? And if I run this, nothing happened. Why? Because I haven't consoled anything and I'm not calling any function, right? So I have to do system.out.l.print ln. And in this, what I can do, I can just call that function emp.getName. Simple as that. Same I can do for salary, same I can do for age. Yes, yeah. You see, whatever values I set, getting good. Now, what if I just create another employee? I name this employee 2. You guys would be wondering if you are new. We just use Control D to select all the values and change them. Here I just age, and the age would be 24, and salary would be 30.5. It's the one I know. You see, the same class is used the encapsulating methods and getting the value. So this is what is encapsulation means in object-oriented programming. Okay, cool. Let's move forward. Now we have inheritance. Now, what if I want to have another employee in my company, but I want to define some new functions in that, and but it should also have the old function with employee. So what I do just extend this class. This is mainly known as inheritance, right? Obviously, if you just go with the literal meaning of inheritance, what does you think it would mean? It would mean inheriting anything. So if I inherit a class from another class, mainly extended. it would be having all the properties my parent had. I mean, inheritance is from parent. The upper class, is called parent class. The lower class, which is extended from another class, is known as child class. That's something very basic. Everyone know parent-child concept. That's inheritance. Because mostly a child have all the properties his father or his family has. 80% of times. Or it could be 70%. It could vary. But mostly inheritance, you are understanding what I'm doing. Right? So let's just extend this employee class. Right? I enter it. What I just do, I just create a public static class manager which extends the employee. Simple as that. Now, in this employee, all the functions all the methods which were defined inside the employee would be available. Okay. Yeah. Am I spelling it right? Encapsulation. I think I am typing it right. So let's just move focus on inheritance right now. What are we doing here? I am creating another class named manager which extends all the properties or employee. Right. What in this, what I just do, I create a private string department. Definitely. That's what I came up with my mind. And in this, I just create a public string get get departments get department mainly. And here I just do return department. Simple. It's a string by department. Similar. So another function which I would need to define setup, setting the value of department, right? So public void set department. And here I just do this dot department is equal to I will took any value as a parameter. Here I do department. Simple as that. Pretty much simple. Now let's just create a manager. Okay. You have understanding of this? Let's just create it above here only. It would be in the same scheme. So give you a basic idea. Like just create employer manager one. Simple as that, right? I will be defining it. But here is a mistake which I have done. I don't need to type employer. I will be typing manager because I'm creating a manager. Okay, so it's new. Then manager simple than this. Correct. Now what I just see in manager one dot, I have set department for set age, set name, set salary, set department. So if I set department of HR and I just copy these and manager one and I do Rishabh and I do this and I just 24.5. So what you guys think would be the correct? Obviously, you guys know everything now. You guys are very smart. Like one property I need to add is get department because we have another thing here. That we get department. We can get department. Okay. I just console it. You see, in Rishabh 1, I'm doing this HR as well. Now let's just try one more thing. What if I try to add employee tools set department? I'm not getting that variable, that method here because of the inheritance. Child class has all the methods which are in the parent, but parent don't get the access to all the methods the child has. It's like some bad guys, maybe some bad child of the family won't allow his father to drive his car. Okay, but this is the inheritance flow, right? So moving forward, we have done this. Let me just add this the bottom only. if difference, right, right, wrong, right. So we are done with two parts: encapsulation, inheritance. Now comes something cooler. It's polymorphism, right? So polymorphism is something like, what if I created a child ka, child class from a parent class, but I want to change the functionality of any method. How it is done? It's mainly polymorphism. It has two types. One is compiler time polymorphism. Second is execution or runtime polymorphism. First, let's just discuss about compile time polymorphism. Right. So, polymorphism. 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 It's which types it correctly, I think. So let's just do first one. Let's just do the compiler. Okay, compiler or Zama. Compiler time. Compile time. Compile time. Compile time because it's happening when we are doing compiling. This is mainly which is known as method overload, which we have already discussed. Yeah, that's method overloading. हेलो हाँ बाबू अभी तो घर पे हूँ घर पे अभी तो नहीं खाया अभी तो नहीं खाया घर पे आ रहा है अरे तुम लोग चिल करो ब्रो हाँ बुड्ढों के साथ चिल करो चल आ in this what happens, we overload the previous function which we already had, right? So to do this, what I just can show you is like public string should be a capital letter string, and we already have get name, right, in parent. And in this, what I do, I create another string, last name, and I would be returning super name plus last name and a semicolon, right? So if now inside this developer I just try to do system.getName with another name Kumar, so what you would be seeing, like let me just all of you see, when I called the function without the parameter for developer, it used the simple getName function. This one. So I got Raju here. But when I gave another parameter which I defined here, like if I get another parameter which is string, it would act like this. Are you seeing what is happening here? It is checking the parameters and defining and mainly executing the method which is right now needed according to the parameter. This is the compile time polymorphism because it has happened over the time of compiling, and it has told the class that if you get a parameter of string in name, you have to execute this function. If you get no parameter, you have to execute this function. So this is something which we use a lot, and if used correctly, it can give you very, very, very great results. Right. Let me just create another compiler. I just do int. You see, as soon as I change the parameter, the arrow I add here is like age. Let's just do the age, and I just do age. And here I think we would be getting. I have a feeling because you see, if it was string, it should be last name. Whatever. I'm just putting it's telling me its age now. This is compile time. Okay, so this is what is compile time polymorphism. Now moving forward. There is another type of polymorphism which is overriding. So now moving forward, let's just discuss about the runtime polymorphism. And apart from giving you the theory of it, it's mainly method overriding. Let me just demonstrate it, the code here. It would be giving you a very clear idea in your mind what is the difference. So to have a very good idea of it, let's just do one thing now. We just create another function is this employee. We do public string get details, and inside this I return what all I return? I return name, I return age, and I return what was the last one? It was salary, right? And inside this, let's just add plus here and do the spacing as well. That would give you a good. So this is a get details function inside the employee. Now, if I want to override this function, take the runtime polymorphism. Polymorphism. It's very important topic. Very important. You don't know to utilize the powers of polymorphism, you are definitely lacking behind Java skills. That's for sure. Okay. So what I do, I use the public string. And I just do get details. And inside this, what I do, I create a base details. Equals to, and in this super dot get details. This is super something which tells the main compiler to look into the parent class as well for the values or whatever I'm right. I'll just do return. And in this I do base details plus equals to I have to set a language as well then. So language this part language. That's you. Right. So what exactly happened? Like you see the parameters in this one are exactly same as this one. If the parameters would have changed, it would be known as method to the program and it would be compile time polymorphism. But in this case, parameters are same. So all the time, whenever I call it would be calling this function. So to test this, what we have to do, we have to add one dot set language. And inside that, I do Java. And simply, if I just do dev1 get details. But I would have done this for employee. What do you think without what? There is no language, so it won't get it done in the language. So, there's the main see? Language. And also, if I don't set the language, I won't be getting it. That is something basic, I think. I didn't set the language, so it's null. Okay, and if I set the language, it's simple as that. Might not use the Java. It's better now. Yeah, Java. And Java. Now let's just start on the fourth point, abstract. So abstract is mean like when I have a function in a parent class or a method or a variable in a parent class, which right now I don't know how I would be using, or I am giving this ability to the child class so they can use it as they want, right? So this can be done like this. I just need to add an abstract keyword here. And in this, I create a function with public abstract void work. You see, as soon as I did this, I got error. Why? And how I can solve it? I can just solve it by creating or override the work function. So how I do it? Public void work it was. Then I just do system dot and the println manager would be scheduling a meeting. Scheduling a meeting. And the same I do with the developer, and he would be writing a code, right? And now if I just go inside the developer and I try to system.ln.print dev1 dot work, for this I am getting an error. Why? This method is a type print screen is not applicable for argument. Okay, because I'm not returning anything here, right? If you guys remember, we have just consoled the value system and let me just run it. You see, writing a code. So I created a method which I am not sure right now how I would be using, or I am giving this ability to the child class. So this is the abstract. To do this, I have to add the abstract here, and I have to also give the keyword to the class and using the abstract. So these are the basic 4 key points for OOPS in Java. Ta-da!